All right, hello again. In this lecture, we're going to learn how to multiply decimals. And I have to tell you, multiplying decimals is one of the nicest things we do because we multiply as if there was no decimals, and then we'll worry about the decimals in the end. So let's start off with a decently nice example where we're asked to multiply. And let's start off with a whole number times a decimal. And then we'll slowly edge our way into decimals all over the place. So our first problem we'll have, let's say 25 times, and I'm going to use the dot for the multiplication symbol. And in parentheses, just to exaggerate my decimal, I have 0.02. So we do not have to line up decimal points when we multiply. What we're going to do is pretend there's no decimal points at all. We have 25 times 0.02. And as far as I'm concerned, that decimal isn't even there. I'm going to multiply pretending I only have 2 times 25. That's what I'll do. So 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. And now I have placeholder, but 0 times everything is 0, right? So a bunch of zeros. Add them up. And I got 50 here. Now, once I've multiplied pretending they don't exist, I have to come to terms, yeah, they really do exist. And I'm going to count how many digits are in the decimal place. So I have a 0, that's a 1 digit, 2 digits, and then there's no decimal places here. So I only have 2 digits in the decimal place. That means I'm going to take this decimal point and move over 2 places. And my answer is 0.50. Okay, and that's it. Let's see another one, because you're like, oh, that's crazy. What happened here? So, our second problem. Let's make it a little bit more challenging. Let's say we have, 34. And we're multiplying it by 0.15. Okay, so when we multiply this, we're going to have 34 times 0.15. We're going to pretend that that decimal point doesn't even exist and multiply as usual. So 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 2 is 17. Placeholder, don't forget it. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. Add up the digits. 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus the 3 is 5. Now we'll count the number of decimal places. There's 1, 2, same deal as the last one, trying to keep consistent. So we'll move over the decimal point twice, and we have 5.10. But a nicer way to write this would be 5.1 because that extra 0 at the end is not significant. And there's our answer. Piece, you might be wondering, well, crazy lady, would you mark me wrong if I wrote 5.10? No, I wouldn't. Maybe someone else out there in your math teachers might, but you would have to check with them, okay? Technically, they're the same thing, though. All right, let's see one where both numbers have decimal places. So let's say we have 0.5 times, and here I'll put it in parentheses to exaggerate, 0.13. Alright, so we're going to multiply these two things together. I'm going to use the longer digit up top because it doesn't matter what order I multiply in. And I'm going to pretend that the decimal points don't exist, okay? I don't have to line them up. Notice they're not lined up. Don't care. I'm going to multiply as usual. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 1 is 6. And now I count the total number of decimal places. So I got 1, 2, 3 total. So I have to move over 1, 2, 3. Now you might be thinking, what happens here? Well, I need to account for a placeholder. So I'm going to write 0.065. And that's how we multiply decimals. Okay? So you can multiply just regular means, don't have to line up the decimal points. At the very end, count the total number of digits in the decimal places and move over to the left, that number of places. And that's all.